Blessed rising, beloveds. I come before you on this day. First and foremost, let's do what we do best. Let's give thanks to the breath. So I am going to ask you to join me in taking 3 deep breaths and giving thanks for the breath of life. Let's begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Again, let's inhale. Exhale. One last time, let's inhale. Exhale. Again, blessed rising, blessed rising, blessed rising. It is Tuesday, November the 3rd, 2020. Today is election day, y'all. It's election day. I am going to say that I pray that each and every one of you will go out and exercise your right to vote. It is your voice, it is a way to make your voice heard. Even though some of us may think that, our vote doesn't count, but in your heart, between you and the God in you, you know what you're doing the right thing. I heard the story about many have bled and died for this opportunity, for this right for some of us to have. They fought for it. I personally don't believe that I should have to fight for anything, because when I fight for something, I'm saying that I don't have it. Unfortunately, in this world that we live in this society with their rules and all of that, sometimes you have to fight for what you believe in. You have to fight for what is yours. So, because the fact that some of our ancestors, they fought, they died, they bled, they cried for this opportunity for this day, I am going to encourage that each and every one of you that can vote, that you will go out and vote. Call your family members, call your friends, and go out and vote. Exercise your right. Let your voice be heard. Take off the mask, not physically, but I'm saying emotionally, spiritually. Let them know that your mouth is not muzzled, even though you have to wear masks because of the pandemic, what's going on. But go and cast your vote. Let your voice be heard. So please go out there and vote. On this day, besides election day, today is the birthday of my sister, Allison, that transitioned in 2006. Allison is a true angel. She has blessed me tremendously in the last 3 years that she was alive on this side of heaven. And I am grateful. So I just want to put it out there in this space that my sister is a true gem. I believe that she had me up from 2 o'clock this morning, talking to me about this subject that I'm going to talk about today. I am so blessed. I am just so grateful for having the opportunity to get to know her on the level that I got to know her before she made her transition into the spiritual realm. I believe that she's always with me, that she is a part of me as I am a part of her, and that she is not dead. She is very much alive, very much alive. So I thank you for being here with me today and to take the time out to listen to what I have to say. I don't count it lightly. When I come before the people of God, I believe that I am coming from a place of love. I am coming from a space that it is pure, and my intentions is for us to rise, to be better, and to be stronger. So, without further ado, I will first say that this is my second attempt in recording this. I am learning, as I said, as I'm going. So next time I will not record the way that I did it to try to upload it directly to YouTube. I am recording it on my phone so it will be saved. So if anything happened, like they said that there was an error uploading this video, that I lost it. And I feel that because of what I have to say, that sometimes opposition comes and it's for you to keep pressing. Don't give up. That used to be me, the old person. The minute that I came up against opposition, I'd throw in the towel and be like, you know what, this is not for me. I'm done. I'm gone the other way. And I've learned that when opposition comes, that's a sign that you are embarking on something big, that there is something big for you. So keep pressing, keep pushing, don't give up. Some of you may be asking, what is it with the candle? Taliba, I am Taliba. Taliba is very creative. And I like to use different props. I am a person that learns from visual. I like to see as I'm learning. But the candle is there as a focus point. I want you to focus on that candle. I want you to look at the flame, and just focus in, just zoom in. And then I want you to focus on, as you're hearing my voice, what is it that you're hearing? What is it that you're feeling, and what is it that you're thinking as you're hearing what I'm saying? At some point, I would just like for you to close your eyes and just listen. And as you're listening again, listen to what you're hearing and feel what you're feeling and think about what you're thinking. And the recording will be here. So if you need to go back and listen to it several times, by all means, do what you need to do. Today, I am breaking the silence. And when I heard breaking the silence, I'm like, what am I breaking the silence about? Because I'm always talking. I really don't keep secrets. So I heard that I need to talk about mental illness. Last week I talked about, whatever we think is where our heart and our mind is. So I'm continuing this journey about thinking, because I believe everything begins at the head. When I say at the head, it's in the brain. And it trickles down. Our brain sends signals to our bodies. So imagine if you have a healthy brain, the brain is going to send healthy messages to your body and you are going to do healthy things. But imagine on the other side, you don't have a healthy brain. So the brain is telling the body to do unhealthy things. So what's going to happen? You're going to get unhealthy results. So today, my topic is breaking the silence and 6 signs and symptoms of mental illness. I want to put out a disclaimer. I am not a psychologist, nor am I a psychiatrist, nor a medical doctor. I am not here to diagnose, to prevent, or to cure any diseases or illnesses in anyone's body or in anyone's mind or brain. I am not here to do that today. However, I will say that I am a CPS, which is a certified peer specialist in the state of Georgia. And you had to go through a training and take a test to become certified. And the requirements is that you had to acknowledge that you're a person with a lived or you have been through some type of mental illness. So I'm going to go through a brief synopsis of what I've been through. I don't remember exactly the year. I think it was maybe 2015 or something, 2013 or 2015, one of those years. I went through a mental breakdown. I remember feeling pains in my chest, and I went to the emergency room, and I think it was a psychologist, a nurse or a doctor, a Caucasian woman. And after they took the test, EKG and echocardiogram and stuff, they tested my heart and all that. She came back to me and she said, all the tests are fine. And she asked me, she said, are you aware of anxiety or a panic attack? And I said, no, I never heard of those things, And I said, well, I know that I've been told that I suffer from depression. So she gave me a paper and I read about the anxiety and what panic attack is. And she gave me a paper and she said, I want to refer you to this place. I want you to go and make an appointment and I want you to go. So do what I do best. I like to research. I researched the place and it was a place, a behavioral health rehab place or something like that. And when I read what this place is, I said to myself, the voice in me said, That's not me. I'm not going there. I don't need this. But the other voice, the God voice, the angel, the angelic voice, my ancestors, the angels that surrounds me, that guides me, that protects me, said, "You need to go." So it was like one against maybe 10,000. I don't know. I said, "Okay, I'll go." And when I got there to that place, I sat in my car and I looked at the people that were there outside. Majority of them was like outside having a smoke break or whatever. And again, I said to myself, "This is not me. I'm not going in there." "Yes, you are." So I built up the courage and I went in. I had my assessment, intake interview. And I cried throughout that entire interview because the questions that the young lady was asking me, I could even see that there was tears in that young lady's eye. And she said to me, "Don't worry, it's going to get better. You came to the right place." Long story short, I went there for about 2 weeks as an outpatient. And I would tell you, like the first 4 days, I bawled like a baby because I kept telling God, "God, I don't need to go here. Why are you sending me here?" I'm glad I went because the completion of that 2 week program, I learned so much about myself and I learned so much about mental illness. There was a lot for me to gain and also a lot for me to give. There was a lot of people there that when they spoke about me at the end of that program, I kept asking myself, who are these people talking about? They're not talking about me. I was a blessing to them as much as they was a blessing to me. So in every situation, there is a blessing in disguise. And I don't regret ever going. I tell myself that I would go back and volunteer. And as I'm talking about this now, I'm reminded that I need to go back and volunteer. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you to focus in and zoom in on what I'm saying, with my topic. Breaking the silence. 6 signs and symptoms of mental illness. The first one I came up with was obesity. Obesity is when the body is carrying 30 or more body mass, according to the body mass index, the BMI. I have 3 children, so every time I took my children for their checkup, especially when they were babies and toddlers, the doctors would weigh them. They'll take their weight, their height, and of course their age. And according to their age and their height, they will show me on a scale like where their weight is supposed to be. And they would tell me either based on the number that they got, if either they were underweight, they were right in the middle, or they were overweight. So obesity means when your body is in a state of overweight. You're 30 or more above your body mass index according to the Basmati index, the BMI chart. I was there at one point. I don't remember how much, the number was that I was obese, but I know I was overweight because I could feel it in my body. Obesity can cause depression. It causes you to want to not to do anything at all. You're heavy. You're carrying around this excess weight. And it led to me eating unhealthy foods, like choosing unhealthy habits, for myself. I would want to stay in the bed all day. I shut down. I became very emotional. I would choose my food based on my emotions, what I was feeling. Most of the times it would be salty foods or sweet foods. That's what I would want to eat. Sometimes I would binge on soap operas. At that time it was soap operas, All My Children, One Life to Live, that was the thing. So obesity, that's one of the signs and symptoms of mental illness, that a person would just allow themselves to get so overweight. They will choose foods and drinks that is not healthy for them, that is causing weight and packing on the weight. Number 2, fatigue. Fatigue is another sign or symptom of mental illness. Feeling tired more than usual all the time. You have no energy to do anything. And it also creates problems in your sleeping, which leads to you feeling more tired. Because if you don't have a good night's rest, or you don't have enough sleep, you don't really feel, you don't feel refreshed, you don't feel revived. So you don't really want to do anything. So it's causing more tiredness in your body. And also for me, oversleeping would also cause fatigue in my body because I've overslept. I've slept so much because I was depressed. So now I'm still tired. So, that's number 2, fatigue. Number 3 was pains in the body, which led to depression, especially when I would keep going to doctors after doctors after doctors, and they would take tests and tests and tests and more tests, and they couldn't find anything. All the tests came back negative. And, I'm asking myself, so where are the pains coming from? For me, the pains was coming from the spiritual side, from the soul. These ailments begins on the spiritual side, and then they start to manifest in your body on the physical side. So the pain was at the soul. It was deep. It was embedded deep. It was embedded deep. And studies show that people with chronic pain are 3 times more at risk to develop psychiatric problems. Sometimes for me, the pain was so severe, I was like, listen, if I could just take something and go into my body and cut it out, that's what I was willing to do. I'm not a person that really likes to take, pills, medication, whatever. But if I had to, I will. I would take muscle relaxers or pain medication to just numb the pain. But then I realized that all I was doing is a temporary fix. I was masking the pain. I really wasn't getting to the root of the problem. Where is the pain really coming from? What's really causing this pain? I need to get to the root of it. I need to pluck this root out so this thing don't grow back. Number 4, body tremors and muscle spasms. This one for me was new. The body tremors is I was be sleeping and my body would just like jerk, like juttle, like it would be like a bam, like just shake my whole entire body. And I was like, what in the world? Like I'm falling asleep and I would just jump out of my sleep. And then the muscle spasms. I would yarn, even like my jaw would lock up. Sometimes I'm breathing, my stomach, or if I'm brushing my teeth, my stomach will just ball up in a knot. Or if some of you know, like that muscle spasm in your knee, I forget, Charlie horse, they would call it. And people would say, oh, you need to drink more water and all of that. Okay, I'm drinking water. But I was like, okay, these things are coming too frequent for me. So I learned about that because I went to a rheumatologist, and that was the doctor that actually gave me the diagnosis of fibromyalgia, which, if you know, you could research it. Fibromyalgia is just chronic pain. You have these pressure points, that pain, and if you do any kind of rigorous activity or exercise, your body could be inflamed and you could be in pain for 2-3 weeks at a time. So that's another topic that I will talk about on another day. They say that the body tremors and the muscle spasms are linked to the nervous system, which I believe developed from trauma, trauma to the brain, trauma to the body. I had experiences when I was younger in elementary school where I had got a blunt force trauma from a paint can. I was running to the car. We was trying to escape Category 5 major hurricane at the time in the Virgin Islands, and a paint can that was full of paint hit me on the side of my head. And then also I had another incident where I had got into a physical altercation with a guy that had a cast on his hand, and he hit me on the same side of my head with his cast. Never went to any doctor, never did any type of therapy, never thought that, it may have caused some type of trauma or some dysfunction in my brain. Nothing, just went on like normal. Also, the trauma creates fear and anxiety. It makes the brain operate in a fight or flight mode. I started to walk on eggshells, being afraid to do or say anything because I didn't want to get hurt or I didn't want to cause any kind of confrontation. So I developed like these trigger points due to my experiences, due to the traumatic experiences that I've been through in my life. And anytime someone or something would touch or say or do something that would trigger that point, that soft spot in me, it was like I was reliving this whole experience all over again. And I want to kind of piggyback on what I said, growing up in the Virgin Islands, there was a stigma. Anytime you mention the word psychiatrist or psychologist or counseling, the first thing people would say is, oh, you crazy. So that pride in me, that shame, that guilt would prevent me from going to get any help, the help that I needed. Because first thing I'm thinking is, I don't want anybody to think that I'm crazy, so it kept me in a place of being in bondage, not wanting to go seek the help because I was worrying more about what people would say and what they would think of me. But hey, thank God I am free of all that. No bondage, no chains, no shackles holding me. I am speaking, I am breaking the silence. Number 5, studies have shown that sinus problems is also a sign or a symptom of mental illness. Chronic sinus issues have been linked to depression. I see that as suppressing the breath or suppressing my voice. I can't breathe. A few months ago we had that slogan, hundreds, maybe millions of people was walking around with this sign, I can't breathe, due to the incident that had happened. If it's anything that I dislike, is not being able to breathe. I feel stuffed up. I feel claustrophobic. It causes like a pressure in my face, in my head. It zaps my energy. I have no desire to talk to anyone or to do anything. My whole thing is like, when I'm like that, please leave me alone. I just want to be left alone. I can't breathe. I can't do anything. The breath is life. So, they say that major, chronic sinus problems, is sign of mental illness. It's a sign that there is something in the brain that is off balance. There is some type of imbalance that's going on, and we need to ask these questions. We need to do the research. Number 6, feeling nauseous or having a weak stomach. Studies have shown that this is linked to an anxiety disorder. I remember a few years ago, I had to go to a cousin of mine and to break the news that her father had transitioned. I knew that my cousin had a very close relationship with her father, and I didn't know how I was going to tell this woman that her father had transitioned. So I called my other cousins to come and go with me. And even though they were there, it was still difficult for me. When the time came when I had to share with her what had happened, I started to twitch and dance. And I was like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. She was like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with her? I felt like I needed to throw up. I felt like I needed to use the bathroom, everything in one, because I had to share this news with this woman that her father had transitioned. I had anxiety. I was going through an anxiety attack, a panic attack, and I didn't even know it at the time, that what was this news going to share with her. And that's because of my experience too, that I associate with death. Anytime death came, it was such a dramatic expression, because I wasn't taught, you were taught that death is a bad thing. It's a trauma. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a drastic thing, but I wasn't taught the right way. So my expression, my reaction to things like this was so dramatic. So here I was, to share with my cousin that her father transitioned, and I didn't even know how to share that news because I didn't even know how to take it. So I was feeling nauseous. I was having a moment. There is things that, certain smells or certain sounds that will also trigger that in me. My stomach, I will feel weak and feel nauseous, and seeing certain things will give me like that queasy feeling that I want to throw up. So that was it, for my notes that I had gathered. I feel that, when I come before my brothers and my sisters, that I come from a place of love. I come from a heart that desires for people to learn and to grow, to heal and to be delivered, so that we can live life and life more abundantly, so that we can live the best version of who we are here on this side of heaven while we are here in the land of the living. So if there's anything that I said resonated with you, please comment, please share, please subscribe, share it with your friends, your family members. Mental illness is not anything to be ashamed of. It's not anything to hide. We all need help at some point. The brain is a muscle, just like the heart is a muscle. We go to the gym and we exercise, our muscles and stuff because we want to have this physique. We want to have this physical appearance. But what's going on the inside? The brain is the muscle. That's like the engine of the body. So we need to make sure that our brain is in a healthy functioning state. So when the brain gives those signals to the body, it is coming from a healthy whole place. As a man thinketh in his mind, so is he. The brain, the mind, the mind, I think it's like the seat of the soul. We need to make sure that our brains are healthy. Exercising is good because it allows the brain to what? To flow fresh oxygen, in the body to the brain. And so move your body, choose healthy foods to eat, drink water, go outside and take a walk in the sun. If you're anywhere near the ocean, get in the ocean, sit on the sand, make sure you're getting your natural vitamin D, every day. Again, like I said earlier in this recording, I am not a doctor. I am not here to cure, to prevent, to diagnose. I am just sharing from a place of knowledge and wisdom and experience. So if there's anything that I've said, any way that I can help, if you want to get any information on how you could become a certified peer specialist in the state of Georgia, again, place it in the comments. I could answer any questions that you have. If you have any personal, questions or issues that you're facing and you want to share it privately, I have an email. It's restoring2020@gmail.com. You can share your comments, your concerns, your questions. Restoring2020@gmail.com. I am here to share. I am open to listen. If I could do anything to help, I feel that it is our duty as the elders, because I believe I'm moving into that state of being an elder, that we are to share with the younger ones. If we could help them